Hey everyone. So I've been playing. I love to make charms. You can see these pretty good. Let's turn on another light. Don't know if that helped or not, but so these are digitals from Sarah Lee Armstrong, and I will put her name across the screen so you can certainly see because they're beautiful. But I wanted to point out, like on this one, see the blue, and I've added some different colors. Her digital is gorgeous. It's all muted tones, and there's more than just the charms, but that's what I was really looking for. I wanted to make charms, and I loved so many come with it. I will link her video below. And then if you go to her video, I'm sure she has a link to her store. Well, I know she does because that's where I bought my digital from. But I wanted to show you how I did it. Of course, you know, I always have to do everything just a little bit different. And I wanted to show you on these because she uses nail polish to seal them clear. And some people might say, well, it turns yellow. I don't think it does. It might, but I can tell you these were yellowy anyway. But I can tell you that I've done things. I've done paper beads, and I know that I've watched tutorials of people that have used them on paper beads, and years, like 5 years, they've not turned yellow. So these I done with glossy accents. And I will tell you the only thing I didn't like about the glossy accents, I'm trying another one because I just brushed it on. I didn't, pour it thick like this one here. See, it's actually, and it's really smooth, but it takes a lot, to make it look like that. And nail polish would definitely be the cheaper way to go. But this one, I painted the back with nail polish, and it's kind of shiny anyway because of the spray paint that I used, but I also went over the front of this one. I think it was this one. I know it was because it's smooth with nail polish to try to even out some of those lines that I got from brushing on the glossy accents. Look at this one. And this one, I did use glossy accents and I did color in the leaves a little bit. I'll show you that with my stays on. And I added some extra color around here, did the edges. And then here's another one. I think I already showed you this one where I painted the back, and it was really, really good. I was trying to remember if I painted the top of this one. I know I painted the back. I don't know. You really can't tell much difference. If the glossy accents will go on smooth for you, you really can't tell the difference if you brush it on. If you squirt, to fill it in where it has a little bit of height dimension to it, it definitely, you can tell the difference. But because I think it would be hard to get dimension with the nail polish. And I just used this. I'm pretty sure I got it at Dollar General or Dollar Tree or something. It's very cheap. So I printed them out, and one tip she gave was to print it on glossy photo paper, which I ran out of the kind I use because I got it from the secondhand store, and believe it or not, I've finally run out, so I had to order some. I ordered this from Amazon, and I'll try to make sure that it's in my storefront if you want to see it, but it is a good weight. It's 37 pound. Now, I mean, it's not, you wouldn't want to use it by yourself. And what I did by its, you can use it alone. I mean, use it alone by itself. I did glue it onto a potato chip box. And I took that potato, it was a Funyuns box. And what I did was, and here's one of the prints that's printed on the glossy. And she, if you watch her videos, she does do a comparison between using glossy photo paper, matte photo paper, and she shows the differences. So it might be something that maybe you'll like the matte better, but I really thought I liked this better. So these are some different sizes, and I thought I would show you was going to show you a couple of these that I added the color to. I just love them. I think I've already shown you that, but I love them. So what I did was I printed them out on the glossy photo paper like this. This is half of the chip box. And it's very shiny, so I'm going to move it towards myself where it's not glaring at you too bad. And I'm actually going to cut it where it's easier to move around on my station. And some of the flaps are very usable in spots that they don't have the glue. So I'm going to keep those for other times. But like this flap where I tore it open, of course, I'm not going to use that. So I'll just cut that off. And I didn't actually spray it on purpose. But, you know, when you use the spray can of paint, it oversprays in a lot of areas. And what she used on hers was the hammered, Rust-Oleum hammered spray paint, and I think it was in bronze, and it is gorgeous, but I didn't have any of that, and here it's $9-10 a can, so I didn't want to do that. I just used what I had, which was, I think this is some kind of a gold, and see, this one's awfully tore up on the back, so I'm not sure I'll be able to use any of it, but I'll keep it just for fun. And like I said, I'm not sure of which color this is. I think it was just a gold that I had. I just used what I had. And you don't even have to use glue. Or, I mean, spray paint. You can use your jelly print or your jelly plate and put acrylic paint on it. It was just faster this way. I did sand it down a little bit because the outside of the box is very slick. So I sanded it a little bit, sprayed on the spray paint, and I liked more colors in it. So what I did on the first one was I only took my, sorry, I'm really trying to keep it out of the ring light. I took my Stays On in different colors and just smashed it on to give it that look. Now on this one, what I'm going to do is take some of my black gesso, and I've done this before with charms when I use the little fake credit cards that you get in the mail, and it works really good on that too. But I'm just going to take some of this. Well, actually, before I do the gesso, I'm going to use some of my Stays On to color it. And again, I apologize for the ring light. I'm really trying to keep it out. But so all I did was, you can either take a little sponge like this or your dauber, and it dries. You know, I love Stays On. It dries so fast. And I think I took my dauber and I just smeared and went around putting colors on. Tried to make it not look like a uniform circle. But when you get done, that's not going to matter anyway. You're going to have, I have other stuff over it, so, and you can use any colors that you want. On the front, I started using red and orange, you know, just like fall leaves. You could do that on the back. I have done that before, and it looks really pretty. So this is Stays On Teal Blue. I'm also going to put some pumpkin. I liked the pumpkin. And I may end up putting some claret too. I like the look of the claret. I mean, you could just put your ink pad on here if you want and move it around a little bit. But you have to be quick because this Stays On dries really quick. I think I'll go ahead and put a little bit of the claret in too. It's kind of a wine color. So I've kind of got that colored like I want it, hoping that you can see. Again, I apologize for the ring light. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gesso, because I want a little bit of black on it too. So I'm just going to take the lid and dab my sponge in it, kind of getting some off because I don't want a ton. And I'm dabbing just to give it a little bit of texture. And yet not covering up all my colors, where some of that will still come through. So I've done the black. Hoping you can see it. It's going to look really, love the texture of the black. You don't have to do that. I just like it. I think it looks really neat on the back of charms. Now, I did not do that on the first one because I didn't have the gesso at the time. I just used black stays on, and it gives it a nice look. It just isn't textured, where the gesso will kind of give it a texture. So, because I've done that now and it needs to dry, my next step was, I'll put that over there. I took my prints, and I'm going to cut it right along here, just so I can show you how I did it next. I'm pretty sure she did not do hers this way. I just cut these down to size to fit on the size cardboard that I had. I don't remember. I feel like, I don't think she did hers all at once. She may have. I don't remember. But I am lazy, so I glue it down all at one time. So I just did it with art glitter glue. And I even took off my little nozzle because I wanted it to come out a little bit faster. So I just put glue around to make sure it holds well. Especially when I get the edges. And this is probably wasteful because, you know, not all of this is parts that you're going to use. I mean, I'm going to be cutting off a lot of it. So, again, probably wasteful, but this is the lazy way that I do it. It's faster. I love charms. I just don't have an attention span to do them like one at a time. I get very bored picking up all the little pieces. So I tried to make this a little faster for myself. And then what I did was, you know, of course, this would have been all inked. So let's pick one that's inked. Well, we can go ahead and do it this way. Let's assume the back is done like I wanted it. Then what I did was I took my nail polish and painted them at this point. I'm sure she didn't do that. She cut the little hole and picked them up and painted them, and they are, like I said, beautiful. It's all a matter of how you prefer to do it. I am going to add just a little bit of color to show you how I did that. I didn't do it last time until after I put my glaze on, whatever it was, whether it was the nail polish or the, you know, whatever. I put it right on top of that, and it worked great. This time, I'm going to try to use it. See, it dries so fast. You have to really, that's the bad thing. When I did it on top of the glaze, I had a little bit more time to move it around. I'm just adding a little bit of color. And it doesn't need color. These are beautiful on their own. I'm just showing you how you can do this if you want a little bit more color on your charm. And like I said, I did this last time on top of the glaze. I didn't do it in this way. I did the nail polish or the glaze, and then when I was cutting them out, I added some color. Again, totally don't have to do this. Her prints are beautiful. They don't need any extra. I like how the tone of them that you can, you know, they're in such neutral tones that you could use them on any kind of journal you wanted. And yes, I know that you're not supposed to do your ink pads that way. What do they call it? Cross-contaminating or whatever. I don't care. I use them all the time. Works great for me. So I'm going to paint 2 of these. Actually, I'll just paint this one. And then we'll go to some that I already had. So I didn't put glaze all over the whole thing. I actually did just paint the charms. Now on the smaller charms, I may have went over the whole strip because, you know, they were close together and it was worked out perfect. But just paint that on there. Make sure it's an even coat. I did try to go around the hole there on this one. You wouldn't have to because I didn't do that on my other ones, and they'll punch out just fine. I'm moving it a little bit so I can see if there's a spot that I missed. So that's all you do with the nail polish. And then just let it dry. I have some here that have dried. I showed you at the beginning. They're a little bit tacky, not bad. But they just turn out so great. So let's look at one. These are the ones that I already put a coating on. But I used it with the brush. And I used the glossy accents. But at this point, I would just cut it. And again, if I had used nail polish, it would have looked a lot better. I think I wouldn't have had so many uneven spots. And again, I don't know that you would even notice it if I hadn't said anything. It's just, you know, when you're making it yourself, you notice all the things that are wrong. So then I just went ahead and cut them out because really, I don't know, I don't think she colored the back with a gloss. I did on some of mine. Some of mine I didn't. It just, you know, it doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to show you how you can color them up from here. Let me get one of the little leaves. See how these are all so close together? I think I just basically took my glossy accents and painted the whole thing. But I mean, it's so fast to do these. You basically just have drying time. And if you do use the nail polish, it's, you know, 30 minutes tops for most of them. Of course, if you want to get the high dollar stuff, you could always use the instant dry, and that works really quick too. So, and then I just cut them, and really, I mean, you could be done right here. But I like to kind of fix the edges. You know, I don't like really square edges. My normal punch, I can't use. These are too thick. But I did use my, oh, that's just a piece. My we are memory keepers. And it works great in this. Did the 1/4 inch on some of them. And I don't really have any here that are big enough. Let's see. I might have some in my box. But, you know, see, I use the corner rounder on those, and it works really well. But on some of them, I like a smaller corner. You could do squares. And someone asked me, and I haven't got a chance to respond yet, what these little snips were. They are Tim Holtz, the Ionic Studios. They're the ergonomic ones. They have a little wire there. And if this is too loose or too tight, it comes with different wires where you can do the pressure that you want. So I just took, and I love them, by the way. Some people don't like them because there's no where to put your thumb. I like them. It's really easy on my hands. So I just kind of trimmed off the corners. You could round them or do them as squares. It really doesn't matter. Do a couple of them here. I think this one I'm going to do just in like a square. So I did these, I rounded these two. This is where I took my stays on. I love stays on. It dries so fast. I've said that 100 times, but I think I'll use the timber brown. It's a little bit darker. This is where you could go ahead and put some extra color. Like if you wanted a little bit of the yellow, and this already has the glaze on it. I just turned it upside down and put it wherever I wanted it. You could also use this and put it, you know, in here if you can't, if you're afraid of, you know, putting it where you don't really want it. Now, the good thing about waiting till after you have the glaze on, you can work it around for a little bit. You have a few seconds before it actually dries. Can't move it now, it's dry. But at first, I could move it a little bit. I used a lot of the teal and the pumpkin, I think, on the others. I do like this red. Maybe put a little red in there. Not a lot, just giving it a little bit more color. On one of them, I painted the leaves. I thought I liked that, how that turned out. You know, just scratching in some color. And then I took my darker, my timber brown, I think is what I used a lot. I also like the spice chai, I think it was. It was pretty dark, and I liked using it. Now, this is how I did it. I don't like so much a clean edge, so I laid it down just barely onto that and pulled it to give it kind of a, see how it's kind of jagged. That's what I liked. So I just did it like that on all four sides. The more uneven, the better for me. That's how I liked it. So something like this. And then to get the edges, I just did like this. Just ran it over the ink pad. It was quicker for me than trying to ink it up. And if there was some of the white that come through a little bit, I like that. It just looked more worn to me. And you can also do it on the back where the spray paint is. You can add a little bit more color if you want. Again, it will dry really fast. And because we painted, you know, I put the acrylic on all at the same time, I mean, that piece is done. If you want to paint the back, certainly could. I think that with the spray paint, especially if you use the kind she did, which was the hammered, it just looks so pretty. I don't think you really need to do anything else to it. It's a good way to use up your chip boxes or your cereal boxes, you know, anything like that. Put a little bit of color on the front. Really like that. Very pretty. You could also put it on the back, like I said. I probably won't this piece. I was going to go ahead and make like a little cluster or charm. Really, you don't have to add anything else. Punch a hole and a ball pin and you have a beautiful charm for the edge of your pages. So I'm using just a small hole punch right at the very top. It goes through the enamel and all that just fine. Plus which, when you paint, you don't have to worry about, you know, making sure that hole doesn't get clogged up. But you can also take the hobby tips that Karen sent me, and if you want to put a little ink around those holes. This one I don't think needs it because I had put some extra there. But I know they have different sizes in here. So maybe there's one small enough that I could just barely, let me get some of this ganache. We'll just barely put it on the tippy tip. I don't know why I always need to do this, but I do. I feel like I can see that white. So I love these things. Thank you so much, Karen. So you probably can't tell any difference in that, but I can, and I think that really helped. I think that's what it needed to make it wonderful. Now just take my bow pin, put that on, you have a wonderful charm. But of course, I can't just stop at that. I've got some of this tea dyed or coffee dyed, I don't really know. It's linen. So I'm going to tear a piece of that. Put that there. You could use cheesecloth, and I mean nothing. You don't really need anything. The charm is so pretty by itself, but I have some little laces here, so I want to use one of those little snippets of lace. I like doing that. A piece here that's kind of tea dyed. Let's use that. Do I need the whole thing? Yeah, we'll cut it. And one more thing I want to use, because I just came across these and I'm in love with them. So these are film reels, and look how tiny. And I love the white that's at the beginning because I'm thinking of alcohol ink or even the StazOn to make that whatever color. Hey, let's just use it. Let's use a piece. Now, I mean, it does have darker on it, you know, of course, but I see myself wanting to use that. So I'm going to use that this time. And these are really cool. Got them at an auction, an estate auction. So cool. These will be, I will have some of these for my online sale tomorrow. Oh, and that will be with Sandy. Keep praying for Jo. She's really hurting with her RA. We need good healing prayers for her. So I think I'm going to take some of the, let's see. Which one do I want to put it with? I think I'll put it with this one. And it has some green. So I'm going to just dab this on. Ooh, this is cool. You see what I'm doing? Just dabbing it on that film strip. This is, like I said, the white. But look at the little tiny holes. Aren't they cute? I don't guess I realized that the projector film was that small. I was thinking, I don't know. I guess I thought they were all the same size, kind of like film strip. You know what I mean? I don't care if a little bit of the white shows. I like that. So I'm going to leave a little bit of white. How cool. Ooh, and we could stamp a number or anything on this. I kind of found this identification check. I wonder, maybe that would look okay. And I think, oddly enough, I want to use the red. That's so cool. Can you see it? I really like that. Neat, neat. So we just transformed our film strip there. Love that. Could always do a number on the opposite side. I'm not going to bore you with that. It has little, like I say, little tiny. Oh, I don't want to put that on first. I want to put this on. What a neat dangle. And then on this one, I think I will use some of this wider film strip because it's a pretty color. It's not really black. It's kind of a, I don't know. It's just a pretty color. Maybe use a piece of that. I love film strip. I don't know why. I always have. I've always thought it looks so cool in clusters. And again, I will have these in the sale tomorrow too. If anybody is interested, come check us out. We're going to have some neat things. I can't wait. Okay. I think I'm going to stamp a little number on this. Not like it needs it, but you know how I am with with the numbers. I love that. I don't know. I just do. I think that's so cool, and that's such a neat thing to add. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get a ball pin. It's so fun to play with little charms. So I'm just going to, let's see, I think I'll put this in front of my little film strip. And, you know, actually you could, if you wanted it to be more straight, you could just punch a little hole right there. But I kind of like it crooked. Then I put my other stuff in the back. Just bending it the opposite way so that it lays flat. Could always put it underneath something. Well, maybe I should have put it in the back because now we can't see my muslin or my linen. I think I want it in the back. Aren't they gorgeous? I love them and so easy. I urge you to go check out her video and her website for these really cool charms. And there's actually, it comes with more than just charms. Look, my one that we painted at the beginning is dry, and I do love the nail polish. Oh, what I was saying, her kit comes with more than just charms. It has journal pages. I can't remember. I just printed the charms, so I can't tell you exactly what all was there, but I know that there was quite a bit. And I can tell you that they print beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and do this one really quick. Isn't that fun? Yeah. And then I'll just use my stays on. Oops, I forgot to punch the hole. I don't know who he is, but yeah. What a cool charm. Added a little bit more to the back. Went around the edges. Same as before. Took my little hobby tip. Went in the hole there. And this is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. We're going to make... I'm not going to keep you much longer. I'm very sorry. So excited that that was dry. I just wanted to do something with it. I was so happy. And I think I'm going to use another piece of film. Nah, I won't use the same thing. I am going to use a piece of this, though. I have a little piece of ledger here, left over from something I did the other day. I had actually colored it. The back is not colored, so that'll be a nice addition. Actually, I could just stamp a number, put it there, but I think I want the colored part to show. So I'm going to do it like that. Easy peasy. Grab another ball pen. Another thing that would be fun with these charms, especially the smaller ones, well, either size, but the smaller ones would be to punch a hole at the bottom and hang a little charm, which I may do that on some of these. And I just think that will be so pretty. I hope that you guys like these. I hope you go check out her channel, her website. Give this a try. It's so much fun. I hope you'll come chat with us on Friday. Me and Wooly. I don't know if I mentioned that Wooly would be selling with me again. Prayers for Joe. I hope you love these as much as I do. So easy, so fun. Thank you for watching. God bless, and I will see you next time. Bye.